Did you know that a female turkey can sometimes produce offspring without ever mating with the male? This rare phenomenon is called parthenogenesis. Here's how it works. The female lays egg without fertilization from a male. In rare cases, these eggs can develop into embryos and even hatch without a single sperm involved. Some interesting facts: this mostly happens in domestic turkeys, and the offspring produced this way are usually male. It's extremely rare in nature, but scientists have documented it. So next time you see a turkey, remember they are among the few animals capable of rare natural asexual reproduction. Pretty amazing, right? Hey everyone, I am Sabah and welcome to my channel where we explore the most amazing and mind-blowing facts about animals.
Have you ever stopped and wondered, how does a turkey, one of nature's most fascinating birds, actually come into this world? Today, we're going on an incredible journey. From the first dramatic dance of courtship, through the mystery of fertilization, all the way to the moment a tiny poult cracks open its shell and takes its very first breath. This is the complete story of turkey reproduction, and I promise, it's far more remarkable than you'd expect. Stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll never look at a turkey the same way again. Every great story starts with a bold move, and in the turkey world, that bold move belongs entirely to the male. The male turkey, called a tom, is one of the most dramatic performers in the entire bird kingdom. And when he wants to impress a female, he goes all out. Watch what happens. He fans his tail feathers out like a giant, bronze-tipped crown. He puffs up every feather on his body, doubling his apparent size. Then he slowly drags his wings along the ground, making a sound that rustles through the grass. And then the signature move, he gobbles. That deep, resonating gobble that echoes across the field. It's not random noise. It's a message. I am here. I am strong. I am the best option you have. Here's where it gets scientifically fascinating. See that fleshy protrusion above his beak? That's called a snood. And those brilliant reds, blues, and whites on his bare head and neck. Those aren't paint. They're blood flow. When a tom is excited or trying to impress, blood rushes to these areas, intensifying their colors. Scientists believe females actually use the brightness of these colors as a health indicator. A brighter snood, that signals better genetics, stronger immune system, and overall vitality. The hen, that's the female, watches all of this from the sidelines. She's not passive. She's evaluating, assessing, choosing, and only when she's satisfied does she accept him. Once the hen accepts the male's display, mating occurs. But here's something most people don't realize about birds. Turkeys, like almost all birds, do not have external reproductive organs the way mammals do. Instead, they reproduce through what biologists have given the somewhat charming name, the cloacal kiss. Both the male and female have a single opening called the cloaca, which serves multiple functions for waste elimination and reproduction. During mating, the tom briefly mounts the hen's back, and the two cloacas press together for just a moment. In that brief contact, millions of sperm cells transfer from the male to the female's reproductive tract. It happens in seconds, but those sperm cells are remarkably resilient. Here's an amazing fact. A hen can store viable sperm inside her oviduct for up to 70 days. That means from a single mating event, she can fertilize multiple eggs over several weeks. Nature's own long-term storage system. In that brief contact, millions of sperm cells transfer from the male to the female's reproductive tract. It happens in seconds, but those sperm cells are remarkably resilient. Here's an amazing fact. A hen can store viable sperm inside her oviduct for up to 70 days. That means from a single mating event, she can fertilize multiple eggs over several weeks. Nature's own long-term storage system. Now here's where the hen's body performs what is essentially a manufacturing miracle. That fertilized egg, barely visible, is going to be wrapped in protective layers, one by one, as it travels through the oviduct. Think of it like a factory assembly line, except this factory runs entirely on biology. This is the nutrient core. The yolk is packed with proteins, fats, and vitamins that will fuel the embryo's entire development. It's essentially the food supply for the next 28 days. Next, the egg picks up albumin, what we know as egg white. This layer provides additional protein and, critically, water. It also acts as a cushion, protecting the embryo from physical shock. Two thin but tough membranes wrap around the albumin. These are the last line of defense before the shell, They keep bacteria out while allowing gases to exchange. Finally, the egg spends the most time in the uterus, also called the shell gland, where the hard calcium carbonate outer shell forms. This shell is porous, allowing oxygen in and carbon dioxide out. That's crucial for the chick's survival. This entire process, from fertilization to a fully shelled egg ready to lay, takes approximately 24 to 26 hours. Once the egg is complete, the hen lays it, typically once per day, usually in the morning. But she doesn't sit on it right away, and there's a very good reason for that. The hen is waiting to collect a full clutch of eggs before she begins incubation. Why? Because if she started incubating the first egg immediately, it would begin developing days before the last egg. The chicks would hatch at different times, making it nearly impossible to manage as a mother. So she waits, and lays, and waits. A typical hen will collect between 8 and 15 eggs over 1 to 2 weeks before she's ready to commit to incubating them. Her nest, usually a shallow depression scraped into the ground, often concealed under dense vegetation, becomes a carefully guarded secret. She covers the eggs with leaves and debris when she leaves to feed, hiding them from predators. Patient, protective, calculated, the hen is already mothering before the eggs even begin to develop. When the clutch is complete, the hen begins incubation, and this commitment is extraordinary. She will sit on those eggs for approximately 28 days, nearly a month, through rain, wind, heat, and the constant threat of predators. Temperature is everything. The hen maintains the eggs at approximately 37.5 degrees Celsius, that's 99.5 degrees Fahrenheit, using the warmth of her own body. Her brood patch, a bare patch of skin on her abdomen, presses directly against the eggs, transferring heat efficiently. But she doesn't just sit there. Every few hours, she carefully turns the eggs with her beak. This is critical. Turning prevents the embryo from sticking to the membrane and ensures even heat distribution across all sides of the egg. During incubation, the hen barely eats. She may leave the nest for only 30 minutes a day. She loses significant body weight over these 28 days. And yet, she doesn't leave. The drive to protect those eggs is one of the strongest instincts in nature. Inside each egg, an incredible transformation is happening that most people never get to see. From the moment incubation begins, the tiny cluster of cells starts organizing into something recognizable. Let's walk through the major milestones. The heart begins to form. Yes, the heart beats before almost anything else exists. By day 3, a primitive cardiovascular system is pumping blood through the developing embryo. The brain and spinal cord take shape. Tiny limb buds appear, the first hints of wings and legs. The embryo, though still microscopic, is beginning to look like a bird. Feather follicles start developing. The beak forms. The eyes, still sealed, grow rapidly. If you were to use a bright light to candle the egg at this point, you'd see a web of blood vessels and a tiny dark shape within. The chick grows dramatically. Organs mature. The yolk, that precious food supply, begins to be absorbed into the body cavity. The chick is filling the egg. In the final days, the chick positions itself for hatching, with its head tucked under its right wing. The remaining yolk sac is fully absorbed. The chick draws its first breath from the air cell at the rounded end of the egg, the oxygen pocket that formed during incubation. Everything is ready. The chick just needs to get out. Around day 26, something extraordinary begins. The chick, now cramped inside the shell, begins what's called pipping, using a tiny, hardened protrusion on its beak called an egg tooth to break through the shell from the inside. This egg tooth is temporary. It will fall off within days of hatching. But right now, it's the most important tool in the world. The chick chips and pecks from the inside, rotating its body counterclockwise as it goes. What you see from the outside is a ring of small cracks forming around the shell, called the pip line. This process can take 12 to 24 hours. It is physically exhausting for the chick. And it is done entirely alone. The mother does not help break the shell. This struggle is intentional. The exertion strengthens the chick's muscles and lungs, preparing it for the world outside. And then, the top of the shell lifts. A wet, exhausted, impossibly small chick tumbles out into the world. It blinks. It breathes. It calls out in soft, high-pitched peeps. It has hatched. Baby turkeys have a very specific name. They're called poults. And from the very first minutes of life, they are remarkably capable. Unlike some baby birds that are helpless and blind at birth, turkey poults are what scientists call precocial. They hatch with their eyes open, covered in fluffy down feathers, and within hours they're walking. The first priority is drying. The hen keeps them warm and close as their down dries from the wet of the egg. Within a day, they're mobile, following their mother, peeping constantly to maintain contact. The hen teaches them everything: where to find food, how to recognize threats, when to run, and when to crouch and be still. She broods them, gathering them under her wings, for warmth during cold nights for many weeks, from a single fertilized cell to a walking, breathing, feeding young bird in just 28 days. The efficiency and elegance of his process is, frankly, breathtaking. From the tom's dramatic courtship dance, to the hen's extraordinary patience, to the chick's first breath inside a dark, warm shell, the story of a turkey's beginning is one of the most elegant sequences in the natural world. Biology, instinct, chemistry, and timing, all working together in perfect coordination. It's a reminder that even the most ordinary animals around us carry remarkable stories inside them.
If you enjoyed this journey, please hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more curious minds like yours. Subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into the natural world. Drop a comment below. I want to know what surprised you most today. Was it the conical kiss, the egg truth, the 28-day vigil? Until next time, keep looking closer. There's always more to discover.